Goodness, Uniq looking for a way around the action here. Something very special. We'll see for ourselves if that is going to be. Yeah, they have yet to finally draw back the touchdowns. We'll see. That is going to be ideal. Play zone is closing out fast, closing out relatively faster. As for those teams that are still yet to find their bearings, this might be a perfect opportunity for them to decide to start linking up and linking up very, very quickly. More action where that one stems from. Again, that would be very, very proactive on their part. The shot's already ringing out. Of warnings. A lot of inconsistencies for some of these teams. They can't seem to find their way around. A little bit more central, just the western side of that zone. We're going to ask them for a lot. Can't seem to find a way through. So we'll probably put them into a different entity and a different position. Well, now they will be a little bit of a drawback. Right now, Thanos, I'm quite surprised that he is not taking on the action all by himself. He'll be finding a way through though, if he can't seem to reconcile those positions. Again, Tribe Warriors, 2 eliminations to the good, and they are looking for a little bit more. Looks like we did lose 4 Miracles in that exchange, or one of the players from 4 Miracles got getting dropped out, but that will force the issue and see how well they can hold this position. They are still playing as 4. They haven't lost any teammates just yet, but they may be lacking a little bit in the eliminations department. Can't say the same about Team Unique, currently sitting on 5. Could be a little bit more of a cautious approach from Tribe Warriors. They are much more inclined to win the chicken dinner than to look like they could win it. Would be ideal for them if they could find a way through. There is a lot of ground to cover. Void on the front liners as well, losing out to one of the others, and a grenade tossed over the side as well. Fly gets knocked away, and he will go for the flush. Y2K trying to hold their own against the guys from Tribe Warrior. Static, unfortunately, not so lucky. He does get dropped away again. And more shots from Noway Esports, trying to make sure that they have the edge of the blue zone cornered and they can repel any opposition trying to make their way through. But it's all a matter following the plan to the letter. Expressway. That's quite creative. Very creative. Ooh, but his teammate is not going to be so lucky. Almost getting dropped off there, almost getting flushed. That would have been a perfect opportunity to get the flush in. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the case for them. Team Angry still looking for a way through. That is a beautiful drop. And he does go down to that one. 7 eliminations now. MLK still knocked away. Hopefully, they will be able to find a way to pick him up. That is going to be a very tedious task. The play zone 30 seconds out before he starts to force these teams out of this position into a wider area. Arnie knocked away. Trouble in paradise for Team Angry here, but they have managed to sustain it. And now they're up back to, I wouldn't call it full strength, but they're much better off here than they were a moment ago. And Raven will try to reconvene with his teammates again. Just to keep things into a little bit of perspective here, Crown Esports also have a very high line position. They do have 6 eliminations. They do have angles looking like they will be covered in base and in size and in time. So it's all a matter of doing it the exact right way. Oh, what a spray from Light and Paradox, doing the absolute madness against the opposition here. Could be more where that came from. The stretch over to the corner there. Wraith getting knocked away. Blanco from Slime. 4KT gets knocked away as well. King Spider following through. More sprays again. Team Uniq down to 2. We're down to 8 teams. 25 players alive. And there is a little bit of pressure being mounted here from Team Uniq, but unfortunately for them, they do not have the play zone. They do not have the angles. There could be a little bit of a loss here. Ooh, this could be a spray and a half from Team Uniq. They're looking good. Again, they need to break away into the zone. They need to find a way through. It's not looking likely for them. That's a beautiful spray. And a grenade tossed in. 3 Crown Esports in trouble, escaping the M416s just by the skin of their teeth. They're trying to play off that northern side, and they are squished in, and that will be the end of the road at the hands of Tribe Warriors. 3 Crown Esports immediately. Team Angry go out in 5th. We're down to 4 teams now. Immediately. Team Angry go out in 5th. We're down to 4 teams now. Couple of players sprawling around. If he can get his HP back up, he could be a thorn in the side for one of these teams. Again, there is pressure being mounted here. Playing a little bit towards the side again, trying to hold the south again. More and more sprays coming through, but unfortunately, nothing untoward to change this directive. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of visuals trying to pop through again. That's a beautiful shot over to the northern side. And now they're just down to 1. Can they make it through, though? Can they hold it down? More pressure, more chaos. Over to the side again. And they might be trying to hold it, just play off the right-hand side. And if he can get his teammates back up, this could be a big opportunity for them to steal this away. 5 eliminations for the team. But there is still a large hurdle to cross. Tribe Warriors enjoying the entirety of the play zone. They have occupied majority of it. Every nook and cranny covered for. Grenade over to the side again, bounces off the walls, and another one. Surely this one gets the job done. It does. Tribe Warriors will thrive again. And beautiful shot. Mithra trying to close this down. 10 eliminations and counting for Tribe Warriors. All it takes is just a little bit more, and they might be able to see this through. We see it. We locked in, and we might be able to close this down if that's another opportunity for them to see it again over to the side. And he does get knocked away and somehow almost making it inside the zone, but unfortunately a little bit more time and he would have gotten it done, but not this time. Tribe Warriors with the first chicken dinner of the night. Now that is one for the books. Absolutely one for the books. Absolutely incredible chicken dinner from Tribe Warriors. Well deserved. Played it slow but steady. Got all of their eliminations in the right timing. And it did work out in their favor. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make it happen. That is the story. That's how you get it locked in. Incredible stuff from Tribe Warriors. 13 eliminations, over 2K in damage points. And I believe Mithra walked out there with 5 eliminations and 4 assists. Might be the MVP for the game, though. If anyone has anything to say about this, I mean, 5 eliminations, that's a hefty haul. A very, very hefty haul. But solid chicken dinner nonetheless. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the 3 Crown Esports Pro Scrims finals. And we did have a plethora of eliminations, 74, over 10K, quality 11K in heals. And that is one. And that is one for the books. Absolutely incredible stuff. 16 grenade eliminations. I mean, that is some special. That is absolutely something special 47 assists. No vehicle eliminations this time around. Yeah, but I think we're probably going to see some vehicle eliminations in, Erangel and Miramar. I think we're going to see more of that. But Team Angry doing an impeccable job. 14 eliminations. Just unfortunate they didn't get all the way through to the end of the match, but they put up a performance and a half. 14 eliminations, 2,300 in damage points, 17 total points. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Incredible stuff coming through. Very, very solid performance from Team Angry. They did everything perfectly there, but are just shy of that chicken dinner. Incredible still. And Aspect was the one, the MVP. 18 minutes on the clock, 850 plus damage points, 5 knocks and assists, and 500 plus in heals. Yeah, this was one of those guys that was absolutely cooking. He was on toast, and he was turning things around for every single player that tried to, take his stride. Team Angry, Aspect was the man of the moment. He was absolutely cooking, and it made something special happen there. Legit, Mithra, Light, and Xiao Yu from Tribe Warriors, all in the MVP running. 6 eliminations across, 6 eliminations for Legit, 5 for Mithra, 4 for Light, and 3 for Xiao Yu. And that is 1 for the books. They did average over 600 in damage points. That's to tell you that, yes, they knew exactly what was needed, and they put it down together. There's a lot of ground to cover, though, if you look at it this way. But Ooh. And we take a look at the leaderboards. 23 points from Tribe Warriors. That chicken dinner puts them over the edge. Team Angry with 17 in second place. 4 Miracles in third with 12. MVP with 11 for them. But the action doesn't stop here, ladies and gentlemen. It keeps rolling. It is the 3 Crown Esports Pro Scrims, and it's still Priest on the microphone. 1 game down, couple more games to go tonight. So stay locked in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in match number 2 right after the break.
yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot. Yeah, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to concrete point. Beautiful shot.
come out on top for this part of the finals. But I do like the attitude that some of these teams and some of these players have applied to this context. They might be able to do it the exact same way that they want it, but it's not the worst thing in the world, as they are looking very, very proactive there. Playing path from north to south, Saverny all the way down to military base. A lot of covered bases, as we all know, but we've seen a lot of action nonetheless. And now we will see what the play zone has in store. Ooh, now that is a very interesting play zone, though. We've seen how interesting it can easily get. Northern side, for some of those teams that have decided to opt for the south, it's going to be a very hard rotation for them. Probably going to get camped off on the bridge if they do not make their rotations relatively very early. Actually end up to become every single angle, every single position that they've gotten so far is going to be one for the books here if they can't seem to find a way through it for the play zone. And the playing path is going to be responsible for putting things into perspective. A couple of those teams that do not have any idea as to how they plan to navigate this, but they will find out. They will most likely, most definitely find out. Now, there will be some more pressure mounted. There will be a lot of ground to cover still, but most of the teams here, they do have thought processes of their own. Four Miracles being one of them, uncontested in this little corner that they call home. Novreponia, again, there will be a little bit of a delay in how they will make their rotations because they're not alone. And that could be spelling danger. A couple of shots already flying through. And the warnings and the writings are on the walls. Hmm. Big shots. Very, very big shots. Arguably one of the better shots, but it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, you know? Everyone does have their own agendas and positions as to how they want to ascend going forward, but it's not the most ideal cutout for some of these teams. You know, they all have plans, they all have potential, but it is now a question of how consistent can you be? How ideal can your setup be? You know, these are the questions. But, yeah, it's Esports having a little bit of a tough time getting out of dodge. If they can't find a way through, this might be something special for them. Players already littered all over the place. But fortunately for them, they will be able to get him picked up. While that is going on, Neon Outlaws inside of the military base, they did lose one of their teammates, but that didn't deter them. They do have two eliminations in the bag, but they are a man short. Now, basically two players short now. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's going to be much more difficult for them to lock this down. Oh, much better, much better. And Outtaspace Esports, ugh, trying to bite off a little bit more than they can chew there. Viking onto the Springfest to the side there, playing in from the south. Hard has been knocked away though, but Outtaspace looking for a way through, playing off the right hand side. Good sprays, chasing them down. Has to hop back into his buggy immediately before he gets absolutely punished, but he reloads too late. He gets dropped off immediately as well. Zorro looking to close this down. It's all left to him now. Void Esports have a sight line on this, and this could be something very, 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 very diabolical if they don't find it to make a way through. Fly has to hop all the way back and force the extensions over to the side there. And Bakugo from Neon Outlaws is still very much in the mix here. Does get the first draw, but unfortunately will not get the second. And Novex will get that final hit. Two eliminations to the dirt, sharing the spoils with the Neon Rising, but they will live to fight another day. And Team Angry now looking for, they have tasted a little bit of blood. They want some more from it. Zoro just hanging behind the pipelines there. He will be capitalizing on the element of surprise, but I believe he might be discovered here. He does have a shotgun, but it doesn't look like that shotgun is going to be doing much for him. He can't find a way through. Hasn't been able to capitalize. They will be able to try again. Zoro, oh, what a shot from Zoro. Immediately punishes the first offender, but he's back his turn to the opposition, and he almost goes for the second, but not this time. The DBS will shut him down, and that will be the end of the road, but he did put up a fight. He tries his absolute best to make something happen out of there. There is still a lot of ground to cover. Noway Esports still need to secure their first elimination to secure the points they need to advance their position. Could be some proprietary plans here if they can't seem to wrap it around. Or could be a chance for some pressure here. Chance over to the lines there, but could be a little bit more than one would want. But Tribe Warriors with a, and they are adding a little bit more to the tally. Could be a little bit more problematic if they can't seem to find a way through. But it's all about the utilities and how they are used going forward. Now there is a lot of ground to cover. More shots going through and through. Tribe Warriors, if we're gonna Casinho looking to reap a little bit more than what he thought was possible. Again, he will try to lock it down, but we are about to see how possible that can be. And they will try to park a little bit more to that pressure. And Castera have been getting themselves a little bit of traction in the streets, as you can see. You're not going down without a fight, and you have to absolutely respect their decision. They have been very, very consistent in the back end, but unfortunately, the play zone is not favorable for them at all. They will have to reposition. They will have to think this. They have to think about this very, very quickly as well. Can he do something legendary here for Ruthless Esports? Doesn't look like it will be the case, but Falak from BBC peeks out. He's getting dropped away as well. Yummy, unfortunately, will be getting flushed. Sporty from BBC trying to hold it back. His teammate still knocked away on the other end. They will have to make sure that they clear this entire area relatively very, very quickly and get straight to business. Ruthless Esports on the top half of that hillside trying to hold that line. And Pyros finally makes it through to get the pick up on Falak as he did get knocked away earlier at the beginning of the exchange. Law hops back into his vehicle, turns tails, and decides to reposition. Ruthless Esports in a very, very open spell position here, and they will claim hold of this hillside. It's going to be a very, very tricky one to hold down. Already peaked out, gave a little bit too much skin there, and the L2K will get him dropped off immediately, and that is going to spell danger for the guys from BBC. Pyros has to, hopefully he will get picked up, but again, it is going to cost a lot of utilities and a lot of time for them to get back into full strength. But it looks like Tribe Warriors might be smelling blood in the water. They might decide they want a piece of that action as well. They've turned their sights onto the guys from Slime 4KT. Wizard, the first victim, he gets knocked away. There's trouble right now. They're trying to hold it down. Crusader off onto the right. Tribe Warriors now getting a piece of the action, but Crusaders with a grenade, and he might spell something dangerous here if you're not careful. And he missed that one just a little bit more. Couple shot spray from Crusader, can't seem to get it locked in. Spots right through, immediately gets dropped by Song Yin Woo. What a spray that was. Crusader goes straight back into the lobby. Slime 4KT now down to 2. Song Yin spin through, almost getting him knocked away, but the 1v1 he loses out. He gets dropped away over to the right hand side, almost going 2 for 2, but not this time. That will be an incredible turnout of events here. Tribe Warriors coming out on top, 5 eliminations to the good. And that is absolutely outstanding. Managing to put the guys from Slime 4KT on the back burners there and not losing a single team. Now that is what you call a successful shakedown. Tribe Warriors coming fresh off that chicken dinner, potentially looking like they might want to do it again. It's all a matter of if it is going to be a possibility for them. Well, we are about to find out. Ego Esports have decided that they want to take hold of this entire area for themselves. They've decided that it is theirs to take. Again, it's not it's not the worst thing I've seen so far, but could be potentially a little bit more ground to cover if they did have everything locked in and locked down the way they planned, though. But it's all about the execution. They can find a way to razzle dazzle the plans there. Could be how they manage to see it through. But they have done a magnificent job of having to. They will be losing out to that exchange. Now, MVP have their sidelines on the guy from Ego Esports. Potion trying to sprinkle a little bit of bullets over to that northern side. And they are trying to lock it down. It doesn't look like it's going to be too feasible from that distance. Paradox from Crown Esports has been spotted by LLK, immediately gets punished and flushed as well. And Crown Esports have been cut down to just 2 now. Foul you with a spray. Plays it a little bit closer. Trying to make sure that there is bases to be covered here. Sightlines looking very prestigious here for Three Crown Esports. The light peaked out a little bit too much there. Immediately gets punished, and he swapped out his weapon for a grenade, and he learned the hard way. As they will go out in 10th. We're down to 9 teams now, 30 players alive. Noway Esports also looking for their way through, on the Sunken City, and they are trying to keep things professional onto the southern side, not risking too many resources, trying to keep things afloat, and it's very ideal the way they are holding it down. It looks like Static has a plan, but how well can it be executed, though? These are the questions. And Team Unique also with a plan of their own. Shadow with a spray of his own as well. And the play zone has shifted. Ooh. Tribe Warriors once again looking very, very prominent in that position that they've got up to the drafts. But how far can they protect that northern side? They do have Ego just side by side with them. They need to make sure that that team doesn't make their way through. The K has been knocked away. Team Unique also putting the screws to MVP for K4T over to the side. Aspect peeks out, immediately gets dropped, and now is trouble now. Pyros is the one putting the screws to the guys from Team Angry. One by one, he's starting to hurt them. Spoidy looking for a way through, playing off the right-hand side. And they're trying to lock this down again. Casino to the corners there, but he can't seem to find a way through. Angry still playing on 2 versus 4. First shot and a second shot, but unfortunately, DBS no match for the S12K that peeks around the corner, and that will be Angry losing yet another body. Aspect the following suit, and that's all left to, I believe, Raven, the last one for Team Angry. Potion with a sight line over to the side as well. Shadow getting dropped off. Trouble in paradise for the guys from MVP. They are getting caught out all the way through, and Noway Esports somehow turned it around all the way from that distance expressway for a reason, putting them on the express train back to the lobby. And that what we love to see from Noway Esports. They have turned it around, and a potential chicken dinner looms in the distance. But now Void Esports playing it a little bit closer to the vest here. Top half side, but Tribe Warriors have just been waiting for the longest time, and their patience is starting to pay off. Mithra with his sight line over to the side again. He pops through a couple shots to slow this down, and Mithra continues to put the pressure onto Ego Esports. They lose yet another. Raven with a block shot. He gets Pyros knocked away, and Flush to follow suit. But unfortunately, Team Angry, no luck for them. They will bite the dust. They will go back to the lobby. They will unfortunately swiped all the way out. Tribal their game to lose. They have everything working for them. All it takes is the right amount of grenades, and another one. Back-to-back chicken dinners are looming. They already feel it, and surely that one will be the job done. Well done to the guys from Tribe Warriors. They lock it down, and now they will be closing through. All it takes now is for them to make sure that BBC, Balak, and Cat from Team Unique do not make it across the pond. But it looks like they're already doing that, and it doesn't look very, very ideal for them. They're taking hits, too many hits, if you ask me. Law gets dropped away, trouble over, but unfortunately, he will drown in bullets from the guys from Tribe Warriors. Every single base covered, every single angle. They have taken it away from the opposition. Valak will succumb to his injuries. Keish will get the final blow onto Pyros. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get the job done. Tribe Warriors occupying the entirety of every single corner, every single position. Team Unique down to just 2 players. Drives straight into the water. There's only so much he can do. The Molotov follows through. He's inside of his vehicle. Doesn't seem to make his way through into that corner again, but that grenade perfectly launched. He does take the hit. Kaiser to the corner as well. Not sure if they've spotted him. If he can pop out of that vehicle, pop back in, but that's not going to be the case. Tribe Warriors will shut it down, and that chicken dinner is theirs yet again. Whew, what a chicken dinner. Absolutely tearing through. There is one for the books there. You've seen it. There is a lot of time to cover though, but five eliminations for Mithra, four for Xiao Yu, and Touch with two, and Haider with two, with three eliminations. That brings the total to 14, 2100 in damage points. It's relatively very similar to what they did in the previous game, and even down to the eliminations as well, spreading across tells you exactly what you need to know. It's relatively more of the same. They are trying to stay locked in. Perfect performance to lock things down. Ooh, but we had a significantly less eliminations from what we had in the match one. That was Rondo 56 from this game. More knocks than eliminations. That tells you all you need to know. A lot of people were getting picked up. 5 grenade eliminations. Still no vehicle eliminations. 30 assists, 7100 in heals. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you pattern up. From 10k that we had in the Rondo game, now we have 7100. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of context. But compared to Team Uniq, Tribe Warriors 2100 to 935. I would call it a little bit of a stretch to make it 1,000, right? So that is something you need to for 14 eliminations to 6, 22 minutes to 21. I mean, these were the last two teams, so that tells you all you need to know. 24 points to 12. Tribe Warriors playing it slow and steady, making sure they see it all the way through towards the end, and they maintained the same composure. They maintained their strength. They maintained everything up until that final third, and that is how you make it turn out. Incredible performance. Mithra MVP this time. We did have Angry, one of the guys from Angry, as the MVP from the previous game, but that is something that we saw how it turned out again. And a lock-in position, we saw that turn out into something special. Mithra turning up again for Tribe Warriors. Can he do more of the same? Third game is up close. We're about to find out if that is going to be the case. But before that, let's take a look at the leaderboard. And here is your leaderboard for this match for the MVPs. Mithra leading charge. MLK once again for Team Angry also in the mix. And Xiao Yu also in there in third place with 4 eliminations, 3 for Hydra, and Unique Cat, 3 eliminations. Lesser than what we saw in match than the earlier game. We did have players averaging 600, but this time around it is relatively much lower. Seeing 400, 500, still averaging somewhere around 500 though. I would say, if you were to do the average, but regardless. But the leaderboard is out there. 24 points to the good for Tribe Warriors, coming fresh off. I believe they got 22, or was it 21 in the previous game? So they are starting to run away with it, and that's just after 2 games. But Team Unique still hot in the running, 12 points in second place. Team Angry in third with 11, sharing the spoils with BBC. Ego Esports with 7 in fifth. Void in sixth with 7. And Noway in seventh with 6th. With 4, MVP with 2, Neon Outlaws with 2, Ruthless Esports with 1, Outtaspace with 1 as well, Slime 4KT with 1 for the books as well. Actually, no points for 4KT, no points for 4 Miracles, no points for 3 Crown, and no points for Cursed Era. But right now, as it stands, Aspect is leading the charge with 10 eliminations. And Mithra is in there as well with 10 of his own. Couple of just a couple of points separating the two of them. I believe that is 49 points separating the two of them in terms of damage. And eyes on the prize there. MLK with 7. Chayu with 7 as well. Hyderwood with 5. And that is how you turn up. Incredible performance from Tribe Warriors yet again. All of the majority of the players in the MVPs, that's to tell you, yeah, these guys are absolutely cooking. Shy away from 50. Angry Smoke in second place with 28. 22 for Team Uniq in third. Ego in fourth. MVP in fifth. BBC in 6th. And 4 Miracles in 7th. Void in 8th. And 3 Crown Esports. Noway Esports. Ruthless Esports, Novex, SPE, Neon Outlaws, Slime 4KT, and Cursed Error. Unfortunately, still yet to crack into the double digits, but it's not over just yet. There's still a couple more games to go. But we're about to witness if that is going to be the case. 2 games down, back-to-back chicken dinners for Tribe Warriors. And they have shown their level of consistency. But ladies and gentlemen, 2 games down, 3 more to go. We're heading into our second Erangel of the night, and we'll tune in right after the break.
Beautiful.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It is the Crown Esports Pro Scrims final for this week, and we have seen Tribe Warriors take back-to-back chicken dinners. They have been absolutely incredible, and they have turned things around. But can they be stopped? It's all about finding out if they can be stopped, because if not, they probably win this in game number three, right? They most likely win in game number three. But we're not letting that happen, are we? So let's lock in and make sure that that's not going to be the case. Erangel, for the final time tonight, who is going to come out on top? We are about to bear witness to greatness as the party locks in. Ooh, we are seeing a lot of progression on the front lines here. We have teams moving out from that to eastern side again. We'll keep a little bit more perspective. There is going to be a possibility of doing something from this position. What we're about to see. Is this from me? Because I can't see anymore though. Okay, right. Better. All right. Playing path. Playing path cuts right through from the west to the east. And we can see, ooh, and the play zone stays in the east. So I do love the wings though. Like, this is cool. That might just be the coolest glider, right? That might just be the coolest glider in the game so far. Yeah, I would just call it the coolest one. With the wings, yeah, that's cold. That's cold. Yeah, that's cold. Can't lie. That's cold. Play zone is very, very central inside of Shelter, Yasnaya. A little bit of Rozok in there as well. Everyone with their own agendas as to how they would want to advance inside of the zone from these particular positions. Team Angry being in the worst potential position they could hold out from if they can't find their way through. It is going to be very expensive as they are making their own rotation. Crown Esports still inside of Pachinki. Potentially might be running into the likes, I believe, of Void Esports. It is Void Esports. Sneaks almost getting dropped off, but he does get the job instead. Void Esports will have to avoid Crown Esports right now, because that was absolutely diabolical from Sneaks. And that is something that they will have to look out for. Yeah. All right. No perms, no permissions. Yes, it is. Oh, this is, yeah, this is much better. But what about video? Okay, you're getting video from Ninja, right? Okay, 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 okay. That's cool. Right. So do apologize for the technicals, guys. We're trying to fix this, and it looks like it has been fixed. Ooh, yeah, this is much better. Yeah, this is perfect. I think we're good now. So, ladies and gentlemen, the action continues. And you can, ooh, well, Crown Esports turning up the heat light gets the drop on the guys from Void Esports. That will be the end of the road for them. They might be trying to lock it in. Might be taking a little bit more time than they may have thought. TK again. Full eliminations to Ego. Are we gonna have a plan of their own? If they can, if they can actually wrestle their minds together, they'll probably be able to put this into one. But Mithra and the guys from Tribe Warriors looking for a three-peat here. They are looking to get 3 chicken dinners in a row. And they are keeping it a band here. There could be a chance. Beekeeper from Neon Outlaws also looking to keep everything under wraps and everything under considerable measure. Taking them a little bit more time, but looks like they might be able to see it through on the off angle or on the off chance that they can. Right now, Outtaspace Esports just packing up their utilities and getting out of the blue zone. They do have a ways to travel. But Novex is a little bit of a banger. If they can find a little bit of access across the bridge to get on the other side. Again, they did choose this rotational pattern. And that is the one that they will try their best. In the previous match, but unfortunately fell a little bit short towards the end to the guys from Tribe Warriors. Hopefully that will not be repeating itself in this game. They are trying to seize control of that northern hillside just to keep the rest of those teams at bay. We are down to 13, mind you, 51 players in the cut, all of them in those open spots. They are trying to lock it down again, and they are looking even more preposterous here. Slime in your slime, looking very proactive with the way they do keep things into perspective, though. But a lot of teams here with the same ideas. It's all about the execution. They will keep it on to draft from 4 Miracles. Oh, unfortunate shots from Zolf. He does hit it down. A little bit more shots towards 0 from Neon Outlaws. Potentially might be getting dropped away. He does get dropped away by Light. And Neon Outlaws in trouble here. 2 players knocked away. Doesn't look like much is going to come out from this, though. Beekeeper actually pulling up to the vicinity, but his teammates immediately will be sent back into the lobby. Z-Guard as well, looking for a way through. Crown Esports, they can smell blood in the water, immediately gets run over, and that will be the end of the road. It's a crash and burn party here. 6 eliminations, potential for even more for Crown Esports. They are not backing down this time around. They add another one to the tally, and they are mowing the lawns here. 7 eliminations. and counting. Back to full strength. Light with a laser of a spray towards the guys from Novex again, almost getting one of their teammates. I believe it was Soul Man getting dropped off there. If he had stuck around or stuck his head out the window just a little bit more, he would have had three Crown Esports knocking on his door. So that's going to be a potential for an FBI open up type of momentum. We are going to witness that one. Light is going to be a victim of his own hubris. Three Crown Esports will lose their first player. Signs and warnings in all of this Tribe Warrior. So still reducing their need for an excessive turnout. Another one will bite the dust again. Three Crown Esports taking hit after hit. Ruthless Esports, Ruthless with their sprays. BBC in the mix as well. And Paradox from the hillside also trying to apply some of that pressure, relieve his teammates of it, but it's going to cost a lot. Spoidy as well is in the mix, and he smells blood. He sees the guys from Three Crown Esports. He knows that this is an opportunity for him to reap where he did not sow, and reap he will. Steals that one away with the AUG, hops back into his vehicle, and gets out of dodge. And you got to respect it. The game is the game. You always got to hustle for your points, and hustle they did. A little bit more preemptive in the way they have been able to set themselves up again. We have seen the pressure this can mount on some of these players. We've seen how chaotic it can get. That play zone shrinking even further makes things a little bit more difficult. You can see the guys from Slime inside of Yasnaya haven't moved the muscles since their deployment, because the play zone hasn't given them a reason to move out. And now they have the northern side all by themselves. But they will still be getting to a little bit more action there. Looks like they did catch a body. 2 eliminations now for Slime. They are starting to apply some more of that pressure. It is Four Miracles that decided to be a part of the action here, and they are feeling it. Sphinxy and his teammates, I believe Goblin, are looking for a way to make sure that they don't get caught out. Wizard peeks out again over to the side. He has been spotted, and the shots are starting to ring out. Sonic will try again. Plays it slow. Oh, what a spray, Wizard. The protection spell did not work this time. The bullets will pierce through, but the distance is too great. It will not be covered. He will be getting picked up. But Novex will use this opportunity to get inside of the zone. A couple of more seconds, 30 seconds until the play zone shifts even further for phase 4. Zulu and the rest of the team will have to find their way to advance, and that's an open space they're looking for again. And more sprays onto the guys from Tribe Warriors, more warning shots. They are taking hits, and it looks like it's Chao Yu that took those hits. And they will try to pack it up and back it in. Longer rotations coming through from Mithra, but he did manage to keep the rest of the team there off the hins. And there could be a lot of ground to cover if that is not going to be the case. Like a Spec takes a hit as well. He falls to the side. Kerstera losing out yet again. Only 1 point secured from them so far. Ruthless Esports still traversing this area. They have been holding it for the longest time. Pent and Double K, all the last two keeping Kerstera's hopes and dreams alive. And there could be a little bit more ground to cover. But they are looking very fortunate. Play zone closing out once again. And this is that zone that is going to be the most decisive, and it moves towards the south. And all those teams on the northern side now, they will have to fight for their rights. Angry, Neon, Slime, Four Miracles, Outer Space, Tribe Warriors. Well, not Tribe Warriors because they already had two bodies inside of the zone, and the rest of the team is about to join them as well. Well, that is going to be a special rotation. Looks like Beekeeper is getting rotated over here by the guys from Team Angry. Doesn't look like they will be engaging in anything just yet, but it could be potential. Could make this happen. We're about to witness Beekeeper. Is he about to turn this around here? They are not aware that he's up here, but unfortunately, his reflex is a little bit too slow for take. He gets pushed back into the lobby. Angry will be getting a first elimination of the night in this game. Legend sightlines. Ruthless Esports still holding the width here. And it looks like they will be trying to hold this down. Novex, Thanos, no gauntlet, but teams is trying to snap away the enemies. Four Miracles eliminated. Team Uniq, 3 eliminations. We're down to 10 teams now. 35 players alive. Legend, playing it slow but steady. Locking it in. Tribe Warriors, this is the moment they start picking players off, and they've already started. Ego being the first set of bodies they will drop over to that, leave that northeastern side. They are trying their absolute best to make something special come out of this, but it's not looking likely for them. You can see how much control Tribe Warriors are exerting over the zone. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. A bit of ground to cover. More sprays again. Law. BBC. In a very good position. They can rotate out of here relatively very quickly. Not necessarily having to hold on, but Zorro. Well, the Mars can't save him now. That's a fantastic grenade launched. And BBC with the onslaught. Another grenade. Grenade from all angles. Grenades from all sides. Zorro immediately getting flushed by Spoidy there. BBC utilizing that angle again. Now Bowser, the next one to follow through. Looks like Outtaspace Esports are feeling the heat right now. And Viking might be the last one left. He takes a hit as well. His position has been compromised. He might be getting dropped off. Here they come again. Over to the corner, and over to the other side. They will try to lock it in. Doesn't look like Viking will be able to make anything happen from that position. His vehicle might be going up in flames. BBC want to make sure that there's nothing left. Water grenade. Law was going to it, but he found the Law instead. And back into the lobby he goes. Cat turns around, immediately gets peppered by Song Ying Woo. And that is a beautiful spray. Tribe Warriors on the front foot yet again. They are releasing so much chaos to every single team inside of this lobby right now. They are all feeling the brunt. They are all feeling the pressure. Over to the corners. Things are not looking too bright for the corners. They are trying to lock down and make sure that everything plays out the exact same way that they want. It's not looking like that's going to be the case. Mithra was out in the open there, immediately gets dropped away. His teammates are scouring the area, trying to provide some protective cover. And again, it is going to be very, very difficult for them to get this pickups. Angry probably have something in the lines for them to shut this down with. It's going to be very, very difficult, though. It looks like Slime have decided to pull up to the scene, and they have the control of the zone to the western side. And Tribe Warriors could be in trouble here. They're taking hit after hit. Another grenade sent right through the corner. If he's not careful enough, he might be taking another hit. He does take another hit, and it's Ruthless Esports this time setting their sights on Wizard. Peeks out, immediately gets dropped as well. Ruthless Esports cooking on all four sides, and they are feeling the pressure. Slime now trying to hold it down. Touch immediately gets run over. Legend causing through and causing chaos. Angry trying their best to hold this inside position and outside the corners there. And Tribe Warriors making sure that they will not give them okay. Trying his best not to move a muscle. A little bit of open spaces here, but it will keep things into fresh perspective. He's trying to lock it in and reduce the opportunity for them to make an advance here if they can get the job done. Tribe Warriors have been outstanding these past two games. This might be the game where their jig is up. Angry, looking for a way inside. They know that they could be exposed to the likes of Slime over to that high ridge position. It is anybody's game at this stage. It could go out at any point. A legend exposed, gets dropped as well, and that will be the end of the road for Tribe Warriors at the behest of Slime 4KT. They will put them back into the lobby, and that will be the end of the road. MLK now with a sight line. All of the players from Angry very much alive, all of them looking for a way through. The utility starting to bust wide open, but Aspect has to play a little bit slower and a little bit more cautious here because there's an off angle that he's not aware of, and if that moment collapses on itself, this could be something special. So 4 versus 4. It's balanced diets. Everyone's eating right now. But who's gonna get the first bite? Over to the right hand side, and it is going to be Slime. They will take the hit. They will fall to the side. Is Raven immediately goes for the flush. And now Angry will turn it around. Another one will bite the dust. It's Crusader this time. He takes a hit. He falls as well. Slime 4KT in trouble now. They can't seem to find a way through, and Blanco will be the next one to follow suit. It's all left to Aspect and the rest of the team to close this down in a 4 versus 1. Wizard inside of the vehicle gets a little bit of Aspect into that corner, but he's too exposed. He does get the drop, but unfortunately, it is not enough. Slime 4KT will be riddled with bullets. Angry will take the chicken dinner. 7 eliminations and a chicken dinner to boot. It is not a bad result at all for Angry. With all of the numbers they have put in, Aspect was on the front lines doing the absolute business, but there is still a lot of ground to cover, still a lot more to do. But it's not a bad shout, it is not a bad result at all. Puts them into a simple conversation against the likes of, likes of Tribe Warriors and Team Uniq, running those teams. So it is a very, very big chance for them to reduce the deficit on that leaderboard. 54 eliminations did go around, and now we have our first set of vehicle eliminations. 4 vehicle eliminations. We saw that earlier on with the runovers coming through from, I believe, Ruthless Esports amongst others. And we got about 5k in heals, 6 grenade eliminations, 30 assists. And now the numbers show you that there was a lot going on around inside of this particular game. Significantly less the amount of heals we had here compared to the last 2 games. So you can tell that there's not a lot of time, you know, they're not giving a lot of time for the pickups, they're not giving a lot of time for the heals. Tell this was a team that was on the warpath. 20 points from 15 eliminations, and Team Angry just managed roughly half of those numbers. So tell you that Ruthless had a plan in this match number 3, and they executed it nearly to perfection. The chicken dinner would have been the icing on the cake, but unfortunately that was not going to be the case. They did have an amazing game regardless, and the MVP, Senior, Well deserved. 7 eliminations, though. I still believe this is the second highest we've had tonight. We did have 8 earlier on, but now we have 7. So that is one for the books. We'd have 22 minutes on the call, 3 knocks as well. Ooh, solid numbers nonetheless. From Senior, Yummy with 5 and a big turnout. 10 minutes on the block here for Light, 19 for Spoidy, 22 for Legend. And that is something really, really special. They turn a blind eye to all of the opposition and put them back into the lobby one after the other. 20 points for Ruthless Esports. I mean, they didn't get a chicken dinner, but the points tell you otherwise. Team Angry that did get a chicken dinner, 17 points to the good in second place. Line 4 KT in third with 11. And Tribe Warriors in fourth with 9. 3 Crown Esports in fifth with 7 as well. And Ego Esports in sixth place with 7. Team Uniq in seventh place with 5 points. BBC with 4. Cursera with 2. Outtaspace and Novex as well. And from the Outlaws all the way down to MVP Esports, no points on the board for them. And right now, Aspect finally takes a much more comfortable lead over Mithra. Team Angry looking very comfortable in the way they manage to turn things into the front lines. Mithra with still on 10 eliminations, did add a couple more damage points from what he got in the last game, but MLK is in the mix there with 9. Yummy also has 8, and Xiao Yu from Tribe Warriors also with 8. And they are looking very, very comfortable here. But Aspect, will he be chased down to the last game, or will he maintain that precipice going forward? But right now, Tribe Warriors in trouble as Team Angry have caught a little bit of a break there, much closer now, roughly, I believe, 11 points away. Team Uniq also sitting out there in third with 27. And Rex, Ruthless Esports also with 4 of their own. They are looking quite confident to stay inside of the top 4. Ego with 23, BBC with 16, 3 Crowns also with 15, and Slime with 14. MVP, 4 Miracles, Void, Novex, Noway, Outtaspace, Curse, and Neon Outlaws on the other side of things, still yet to lock in. But 2 games down, or rather 3 games down, 2 more to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues right after the break. Bring you more 3 Crown Pro Scrims action.
The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea he knows exactly Proto gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It is the Crown Esports Pro Scrims Finals, and what a ride we have had so far. Tribe Warriors giving us back-to-back chicken dinner action, but it didn't stop there. Now, Team Angry finally getting themselves a little bit on par, and now they are in the running for it. But it's not over just yet. Still got 2 games to go, and we're going to have our first Miramar of the night. To give you guys a little bit of perspective here, a chicken dinner from either of these teams still doesn't get the job done. They need to see it through towards the end. So they have to make sure that everything aligns perfectly. The prize possession here we've seen is all lies on whoever gets the job done. But that plane path from El Pozo all the way down to Los Leones is going to be a little bit of an interesting take, though. And we'll see for ourselves if that will be the case. But right now, it is anyone's game. It really is anyone's game. It's an interesting playing path, though, but it's not the worst one we've seen, right? We've seen a whole lot more. There'll be a little bit of a line here, but it's not the worst one. A bit of a back and forth as we've been yet to see here. Looks like some action is already starting to brew up. Can't seem to place my finger on where the action is going on, but I'm starting to see that a lot is going on regardless. Northwestern side though. Looks like inside of El Pozo, looks like there's a lot of action going on in that part. And maybe we have a vehicle swap. Maybe we have a cul-de-sac position. There is a lot of ground to cover here, even nonetheless. We will try. Keep it a little bit loose. There's Castera. All looking to find their footing here. Looks like yeah, it does look like a potential for something to go down here, but hard to see potentially if that will be the case. Unfortunate scenes there. That was relatively very quick. We're already down to a couple of bodies there. 3 Crown Esports. Okay. You know, I'm surprised the full damage in PUBG Mobile now has taken a hit. You know, before that was surely sudden death, right? Falling for that long from that high, yeah, you're cooked. But these days, it looks like it's really nothing. Can't really take full damage like that anymore. There was a time that that was never going to be the case, man. You are getting cooked. You are getting dropped straight up if you if you dive all the way from up there. But it doesn't look like that is the case anymore, though. It was looking like it could work though, but looks like Novex are trying to set their sights on. Man, can't see, bro. Yeah, can't see. Senior with a shot line onto Zoro there, unfortunately, but Outer Space need to make sure they don't get sent out of space. Back to the lobby. We're gonna have to think about it again. Zoro, it's all left to him now. He has swapped immediately to the S12K. Bit of a defensive line. More shouting to the right. Tries to lock it in, and that will be good night. Senior gets the job done for Ruthless Esports. They're up to 4 eliminations now. Yeah, angry, looking good. I was trying to pin the opposition all the way back, but doesn't look like much is going on there. They're probably gonna have to try to reduce the order in which the teams are trying to stay locked in, but there is a potential for Angry to keep things just at bay here. Right now, Angry cannot afford to lose any players. Can afford to drop points as they are very, very, very close to the guys from Tribe Warriors. Best case scenario would be to eliminate Tribe Warriors if you can find them. Looks like Three Crown Esports have set their sights onto a little bit of opposition over to just the south side of Monte Nuevo again, but Paradox probably an idea of his own sneaks. Gets the open there, I believe, against I guess one of the guys from Neon Outlaws, if I'm not mistaken, does get caught out in the open there. They are probably going to extinguish this to make sure that nothing untoward happens. BBC just a ways outside. This could be the opportunity that they are looking out for. They are trying to lock it down. Yeah, man. Yeah, it happens, man. It happens. Which which one are you talking about? Is it the other one? The Ninja Link? It's not the most ideal setting. It's not the most ideal thing either. Paradox. It's a little bit of a sight line and a side push just to reduce the deficit, but it doesn't look like much is going to be coming out of that one. Again, we've seen how possible it can be from Falak. A couple more shots and a couple more sprays just to keep the opposition at bay. A little bit more from him. But, Three Crown Esports have light They will be utilizing him to the maximum of the effect. They're up to 5 eliminations now. They are trying to put themselves in the running. And Angry have lost 3 players. Tribe Warriors have lost none. That's going to be the end of the road for BBC. Did manage 4 eliminations on their way out. As Light continues to add a couple more to that ascent. But 3 Crown Esports looking very good in the way that they have started. And they are trying to make sure they rumble it. Mm, yeah, can't see anymore. It's blurry again. Hmm. well done to Neon Outlaws. Interesting turnout. Neon Outlaws chicken dinner with only 2 eliminations, and that is a special one. It's not every day you get chicken dinner with 2 eliminations for free. It is not every day. But when they do it in style. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get the job done. So more, and more where you fitness coming through, and you see how potentially that could work out. 50 eliminations on the board this time around. We did have more heals than we had in the previous game. 1 grenade elimination, 25 assists, and no vehicle eliminations again to follow through. But we did have some in the previous game. I think we had the most we've ever had tonight in the previous game as well. Couple of heals as well to join the party. And we did have 1 grenade elimination, but four miracles putting in the work. And that is one for the books. Well deserved for them as well. 22 minutes on the clock, 12 points gained apiece. They did have significantly more eliminations than them tied on points. That chicken dinner might be the only thing that puts Neon Outlaws just above. And now that speaks volumes as to the performance and the style of play coming through from Neon Outlaws. Four eliminations for Light, the MVP from Crown Esports, 1,000, basically 1,100 damage points, 2 assists, 21 minutes on the clock. Did have 3 knocks as well to follow through, and 400 plus in heals. So stiff one for Light. He was putting in most of the work for Crown Esports, and he was absolutely brilliant. He showed exactly why he is one of the better players on that squad. Right now, Z-God was also in the mix for Team Uniq. Zedu from Novex and Sneaks from Crown and Raven from Angry, all putting in that work. 12 points to the good, and that chicken dinner. 4 miracles also with the 12, and Crown Esports with 12. 3 teams with the same points in first place, second, and third. Now that is one for the books. Team Uniq in fourth place with 9. Also Novex with 9. And again, you will see Ruthless Esports with 7, BBC with 4, MVP with 4, Team Angry with 3, Noway with 3, Slime with 2, Tribe Warriors as well with 2, Ego Esports with 1, Cursed Era with 1, Outtaspace with 1, and Void Esports with no eliminations. And in the turn of a single game, Light has now taken over the MVP race from Aspect, 1 elimination shy, but significantly towering ahead with the damage points. And Senior from Ruthless Esports also still in the mix, towering ahead with damage points as well over Xiao Yu from Tribe Warriors and MLK from Angry. 2 angry players still very much in the running here going into the final game of the night. Who is going to come out on top? It is anyone's game in this final third. So we are going to see who comes out on top. But before that, let's take a look at that overall leaderboard. What does it say now? Tribe Warriors didn't have the best game in match number 5. So how do they step in? How do they lock in? Well, they are still standing strong as Team Angry did not capitalize on that drop. They got 48 points still. 10 points is the distance. And Team Uniq is also in the mix there with 36 points. Ruthless Esports with 33. Crown Esports, that performance puts them into 27. Ego with 24. Four Miracles also with 24. BBC with 20. MVP and Slime 17, 16, 15 apiece for Neon, Outlaws, and No Vex. Void with 10. Noway, Outer Space, and Cursed, unfortunately, still do not break the double-digit deadlock. But it is not over just yet. One more game, ladies and gentlemen, before we close the curtains and we head into our final Miramar of the night. So do not touch that dial. We'll be right back after the break.
May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get down to concrete. Beautiful touch. The idea is those exactly gonna follow out. May as well just get The idea, he knows exactly where they're gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch. The idea, he knows exactly where they're gonna follow how he may as well just get down to cover it. Beautiful touch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It is the 3 Crown Pro Scrims. Brought to you by Crown Esports, PUBG Mobile action, and you've never seen it before. We have seen back and forth from a lot of these teams. We've seen Tribe Warriors stand on to business so far, 4 games through, one more game to follow through to see if they can do the same. But Angry is going to be chasing them down to see if they can do more of the same. And they will try. And then they will try to lock in. They will try their absolute best to see how this will play out. But right now, we're about to see who is going to come out on top. Playing path is on display. Keeps everyone at bay here. It's all about the objectives. It's all about the plans. We'll try it. It's a good playing path though, from the southeast to a much more central line of position in El Pozo. I think we saw a lot of El Pozo and Los Leones in the previous game. And there is a potential that we will be seeing more of the same in this game. What is Southern Shift? What we've seen so far. They will try their absolute best to keep the potential at a higher frame. There is a chance that this might not be able to go the way they planned. You know, everyone has a little bit of an instinctive plan on how they want to approach certain games or certain positions, you know, amongst other things. But we are about to see how it can potentially go wrong for some of these teams that are caught outside of the zone. You can see them up onto the northern side. We'll see if there is going to be more to be done. Looks like Slime are turning up the heat here. Wizard with a shot from the corners and the back end there, but it doesn't look like Slime can capitalize on this. Wizard will be getting flushed from MVP. A bit of a lock-in position again. They will try to rock it through. Big opportunity nonetheless from Slime. Shadow gets knocked away. Finally. I guess knocked away again. Probably gonna try it through, but King Spider is asked to call Slime 4KT with the plan of their own. Trying absolute best to keep, I believe, MVP at bay. MVP have snatched one away from them. Ooh. Well, what a spray. Or rather, what a tap in from Blanco onto MVP. Manages to trade one off. Again, warning shots. Oh, Ezog has to think twice about his disposition outside of that area again. The King Spider hops straight into the smoke to get his teammate back up. They've traded one off with MVP. It's one apiece now. And August position has been given away. So there is going to be a lot comfortable gliding position to see that final win. They will be trying their absolute best to close it down, though. Either tremendous opportunity for them to finish on a very, very high note. We'll try their absolute best to make sure. More action. Tribe Warriors playing it slow and steady. 2 eliminations so far. And 1 from Angry. Have to make sure that they do not lose out to any more players. Tribe Warriors in trouble now. Angry putting the Fear of God into him, and that might be the one. It's very, very low on HP. Vehicle goes up in flames, and that could be the opening they've been looking for. It is 3 Crown Esports getting inside. Angry. It looks like it might be curtains for them as well. They will not be able to surpass Tribe Warriors if they do not manage to find a way through. They're down to just a single player. They have lost 3, and they are looking for a little bit more. Action doesn't stem from all what we've seen so far. Soman from Novex trying to make a name for himself with this push in there as well. A grenade over the top side will get the job done. Hopefully it does, because it is going to be quite a hefty one to see through. Noway down to 2 as well. Novex in the vicinity. They might want a piece of this as well. They do. And return fire is actually equally as brilliant from a moving vehicle from that distance, from that range. Does reduce a lot of the coefficients that we've seen so far. A little bit more than what they would have liked, but it's not too far-fetched. And they will try to stay locked in. Flashy stacking up on the stims, stacking up on the utilities to make sure that there will be some left all over for the next draft. Ooh, well, that's a nice spray. Southern part of the zone contains way too many teams that they would like for the most part of the comfort that they've got so far. It's going to cost a lot of utilities to stay in the right half spaces. There is a chance. It's all a matter of it that chance can be covered. Well, that will be the end of the road for Angry. And with that performance, it means they do not get to finish top 1 over Tribe Warriors, as Tribe Warriors are still very much in it here. 3 eliminations, still 2 players up. They're still adding points. They're still adding tallies to what they've already got. Oh, that's a fantastic spray from Neon. And they are looking to close this down. Oh, and they do get the finish. Neon adding a little bit more. They are trying to reduce the deficit so far. There is a lot of ground to cover inside of the church area as well. You can see the 2 versus 2. A little bit of a perspective in here, but they do manage to get it on. Grenade over to the side. That's a perfectly launched grenade. And a Molotov to follow suit. A little bit more defensive if you ask me, but it does get the job done. 2 versus 1 now. The utilities starting to fly through every single window. And Team Unique could be in some trouble here. Might be ideal for him to get his teammate off. And he does get to try to get a shot off, but not this time. Grenade perfectly launched. And that will be the end of the road for Team Unique. They will not advance any further. More action. A little bit more trouble than one would have liked, though. Doesn't look like much on this end. Stifling through, looking on and on. 4 Miracles coming off of that solid performance they had in the previous game, looking to replicate more of the same. They are looking quite comfortable there. Neon with a plan of their own as well. Loot up the box and get out of sight. And that mission is successfully completed. Onto the guys of New Fox, and they will be trying their absolute best to sprays over to the northern side. But unfortunately, they can't seem to connect the shots just yet. But the eliminations have started to add, and the kill count has started to rise higher and higher. But how much time do they have before that position will do? All of those angles that they are trying to cover inside again. A couple more open spaces. They will be capitalizing on that one. There is ground to cover. Angles are too tight. The play zone shifts towards the southern side. It is all a matter of who makes it there first. Play zone currently not occupied, but it's about to be occupied by BBC. MVP as well, getting a piece of the action. They crawl onto the party. Biting off a little bit more than one would have wanted, but it's not the worst thing in the world at all. Trying their best to lock it down and make sure that the position is occupied there before Miracles. They did manage to hold it down. 3 Crown Esports get eliminated in all of that chaos, and they will try their best to lock through. More action on the way as well. Morvex is trying to peek it out, but they will take more hits. We're down to 6 now. Couple of players all trying to make their way through. The hillside position is the most ideal place if you are trying to hold the zone. Neon Outlaws have capitalized on this. They do have a little bit of the ridge line to play with. If they can keep the rest of those teams at bay and out of their sights, it will be the opening signs of something special that could happen going into the final third. For Beekeeper, Neon Outlaws doing everything right. All they have to do now is hold the zone. They just hold it a little bit longer. And that will be the job well done. Another one will bite the dust. We're down to 5 teams now, and the bridge is where all the action is going down. Tribe Warriors still very much in the mix here. But I spoke too soon. They're already starting to take hits. It's a 3 versus 1 over to that southeastern side, and they will trade one off as well. Beekeeper again for Neon, getting a little bit of the action. Neon rising on par for a potential back-to-back chicken dinner, and that would be finishing on a high note. Trying to stay electric, stay pertinent there. BBC caught out on the bridge. And Pyros, it might be the end of the road for him as well. And he can't lock it down. Now there is a construct for Tribe Warriors. A beautiful grenade to shut things down. Defensively, they are looking rock solid. They can't be breached. And that chicken dinner looms away, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like they will be able to circumvent this particular position. They will leave themselves exposed to those players on the bridge from BBC if they can't seem to hold it down. A little bit of a cover space and a cover angle there. Pyros can make his way through, utilizing the smokes. We're down to just 4 teams. There is still half spaces to cover. They will still try to lock it in. That's a fantastic grenade, but it's not enough. They will try to hold it off a little bit more. The angles from the play zone forcing all of these teams into very uncomfortable positions. BBC, Tribe Warriors. It looks like 4 Miracles and Neon Outlaws all looking for a way through. There is no space in the zone anymore. And they will try to lock this down again, but it looks like IQ from Neon has taken a hit. If he can get picked up, this might be something very, very special for Neon Outlaws. Tribe Warriors now getting caught between a rock and a very hard place. 4 Miracles and the guys from BBC all trying to lock their way in. And they are making a quick dash for it, though. If they can find a way to see it through, potentially it could turn out into something else. Hopefully they can lock it in. Tribe Warriors, this could be something very special if they can actually find a way to make this happen. Because that position is so tight, it doesn't look like they can do much from there. But it looks like they will allow the opposition to take care of business instead. BBC finally losing out. And now that forces him into the overdraft. He takes a hit. The play zone starting to cut his HP all the way down. And Tribe Warriors somehow have capitalized on this, but another one will bite the dust. There's trouble now. That will be the end of the road. And Tribe Warriors somehow make it inside of the final third. And it is BBC to take the chicken dinner. What a finish. Did not expect that to happen, but BBC took the chicken dinner right out of the hands of Tribe Warriors and Neon Outlaws. Falak, 4 eliminations and roughly 450 in damage points. I mean, that tells you every single thing you need to know that these guys were not playing around at all. What a performance from BBC. Well deserved. It was absolutely incredible the way they were able to hold it down. and it was a job well done.
Wonderful shot. The idea, he knows exactly where to follow out. May as well just get down to Kobe. Beautiful shot.